Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Saira Mujtaba, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates Madhya Pradesh Global Investors Summit in Indore. Says institutions and credible voices that track the global economy have unprecedented confidence in India. Computer glitch leaves planes grounded across United States. World Health Organization recommends all those traveling to wear masks in view of rapid spread of new Omicron subvariant across the world. IMF says India expected to be the fastest growing economy among largest emerging markets and developing economies. Indian film RRR's song wins prestigious Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. And Men's Hockey World Cup commences in Cuttack, first match to be played on Friday. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday virtually inaugurated Madhya Pradesh Global Investors Summit in Indore. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said India has been on the path of reform, transform and perform since 2014.
Due to this, India is taking decisions that boost ease of living and ease of doing business. Even during a once-in-a-century crisis, we took the path of reforms. India has been on the path of reform, transform and perform since 2014. The Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has imparted greater momentum to it. As a result, India has become an attractive destination for investment.
The Prime Minister said institutions and credible voices that track the global economy have unprecedented confidence in India. He said International Monetary Fund sees India as a bright spot in the global economy. World Bank says that India is in a better position to deal with global headwinds than many other countries. This is because of India's strong macroeconomic fundamentals, Mr. Modi said. He also added that Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, has said that India will be among the fastest growing economies in the G20 group this year. According to Morgan Stanley, India is moving towards becoming the world's third largest economy in the next 4 to 5 years. The CEO of McKinsey has said that this is not only India's decade but India's century, the Prime Minister added. He also said that optimism for India is driven by strong democracy, young demography and political stability. The Prime Minister said India's focus on strengthening multimodal infrastructure is opening up new possibilities of investment in the country. He said dedicated freight corridors, industrial corridors, expressways and logistic parks are becoming the new identity of India. Delegations from more than 65 countries are participating in the Global Investors Summit. More than 500 prominent industrialists of the country are also participating in the summit. President of Suriname, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, and the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and various industry leaders were also present in the ceremony. Union Minister for Commerce and Industries Piyush Goyal was also virtually addressing the inaugural session. India will host the 2-day virtual Voice of Global South Summit from Thursday. The inaugural leaders session will be led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The theme of the summit is Unity of Voice, Unity of Purpose. The summit envisages bringing together countries of the Global South and sharing their perspectives and priorities on a common platform across a whole range of issues. More than 120 countries have been invited for this summit. This initiative is inspired by Prime Minister Modi's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas or Sabka Prayas and India's principle of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. The Indian government approved setting up of a national-level multi-state cooperative export society on Wednesday. Briefing media in New Delhi, Union Minister Bhupender Yadav said This society will work as an umbrella organization for export of surplus goods and services. It will help unlock the export potential of Indian cooperatives in the global market. The government also cleared a proposal for setting up of a national-level multi-state cooperative organic society. It will act as an umbrella organization for aggregation, procurement, branding and marketing of organic products. The minister informed that the Union Cabinet also approved setting up of a national-level multi-state cooperative seed society to help reduce the yield gaps and enhance productivity. The 3 national cooperative bodies will be set up under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002. Indian Culture Ministry will organize a grand curtain raiser cultural program Sur Sarita or Symphony of Ganga on the eve of the launch of the world's longest river cruise at Varanasi on Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will flag off the cruise on the 13th of January. AIR correspondent reports during the concert, other dignitaries including tourists travelling in the Ganga Vilas cruise will get acquainted with the importance of Mother Ganga and their responsibilities towards her. Ganga Vilas cruise will cross the Indian states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bangladesh and Assam in a journey of 51 days. The 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention or PBD was organized from the 8th to the 10th of January at Indore in Madhya Pradesh. The theme of this year's PBD convention was Diaspora, Reliable Partners for India's Progress in Amrit Kal. Over 3,500 members from the Indian diaspora from nearly 70 different countries had registered for the PBD convention. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a news commentary on Pravasi Bharatiya have a significant place in India's journey in Amrit Kal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. The Prime Minister released a commemorative postal stamp, Surakshit Jaye Prashikshit Jaye, and also inaugurated the first ever digital PBD exhibition on the theme Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Contribution of Diaspora in Indian Freedom Struggle. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas PBD Convention is a flagship event of the Government of India that provides an important platform to engage and connect with overseas Indians and enable the diaspora to interact with each other. The theme of this PBD convention is Diaspora, Reliable Partners for India's Progress in Amrit Kal. Over 3,500 diaspora members from 70 different countries are participating in the PBD convention. Prime Minister Modi remarked that the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is taking place in all its glory after a gap of 4 years and highlighted the significance and joy of personal interaction, welcoming everyone on the occasion on behalf of 130 crore Indians. The Prime Minister said that the event is taking place on the land of Madhya Pradesh, which is known as the heart of India and famous for the holy waters of Narmada, the greenery, the tribal culture and spirituality. Prime Minister mentioned the recently dedicated Mahakal Mahalok and hoped that dignitaries and delegates will be able to visit the sacred place. Prime Minister remarked that the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is special in numerous ways as India has completed 75 years of her independence recently. He also informed that the first ever digital PBD exhibition on the theme Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav has also been organized, which brings the glorious era to the fore once again, highlighting the significant role of Pravasi Bharatiya in the next 25 years of the journey of Amrit Kal. The Prime Minister stated that India's unique global vision and its role in the global order will be strengthened by them. Mentioning that Indian philosophy of treating the entire world as one's own country and considering humanity as our brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister said that our ancestors laid the foundations of India's cultural expansion. Speaking about the world of today, the Prime Minister highlighted that Indians have traversed all parts of the globe while living among different cultures and traditions and yet found ways to unlock the gates of prosperity through business partnerships. The Prime Minister observed that when we look at crores of Pravasi Bharatiya on the global map, myriad images emerge simultaneously which paint the picture of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and the feeling of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat comes to the fore when two Pravasi Bharatiya meet on any foreign land. The feeling of pride in being the mother of democracy increases manifold when Pravasis are talked about as the most democratic, peaceful and disciplined citizens in different parts of the world, Prime Minister Modi remarked. Mr. Modi stated that he calls every Pravasi Bharatiya a national ambassador of India as they echo the voice of a powerful and capable India when the world evaluates their contribution. You are the Rashtradoot or national ambassadors of India's heritage. of Make in India, of Yoga and Ayurveda, of India's cottage industries and handicrafts, the Prime Minister observed. At the same time, you are also the brand ambassadors of India's millets. He mentioned that 2023 has been declared the International Year of Millets and appealed to everyone to take some millets products back home. On the sidelines of the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in Indore, Prime Minister met with the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali. President Irfan Ali is on an official visit to India and as a chief guest at the 17th PBD. The two leaders held comprehensive discussions on a wide range of issues, including cooperation in energy, infrastructure development, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, technology and innovation, and defense cooperation. Both leaders recalled the 180-year-old historical bonds of friendship between the people of India and Guyana and agreed to deepen them further. Prime Minister also met with the President of Suriname, Mr. Chandrika Persad Santokhi, on the sidelines of 17th PBD in Indore. President Santokhi is the special guest of honor at the 17th PBD. Both leaders held discussions on cooperation in areas of mutual interest, including hydrocarbons, defense, maritime security, digital initiatives, and ICT and capacity building. Suriname appreciated restructuring by India of Suriname's debt arising from lines of credit availed by Suriname.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. FIH Men's Hockey World Cup got off to a colourful start in the historic Baravati Stadium in the Millennium City of Cuttack in eastern Indian state of Orissa on Wednesday. The magnificent opening ceremony of the tournament was graced by Orissa Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting and Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur, FIH President Tayyab Vikram, Hockey India President Dilip Thirke, and a host of national and international players and delegates. Addressing the huge audience in the stadium, the Orissa Chief Minister welcomed the participants while thanking Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Union Government for all the support extended to Orissa in hosting the World Cup. Mr. Thakur said, hosting the FIH Men's Hockey World Cup is a great moment for India.
Stating that India has been a sheet of hockey since long, the Minister, Mr. Thakur, reflected on how the Indian hockey teams have gifted to the nation the prestigious Olympic Gold Cups in hockey, 3 times each, both before independence under the hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand and under another hockey legend Balbir Singh Shinya after independence. He said the states are also contributing immensely in the true spirit of cooperative federalism. Stating that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself is a great sports lover, the minister said India under his leadership extended all support to the Indian hockey team even during the tough time of COVID pandemic, which resulted in India winning the bronze in the 2022 Tokyo Olympics. He called upon the enthusiastic audience to create history from out of the FIH Hockey Men's World Cup that begins from coming Friday in both capital Bhubaneswar and Rourkela in Odisha. Here is Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his best wishes to all the participating teams on the commencement of the FIH Hockey World Cup in Orissa. In his message, the Prime Minister hoped that the tournament further strengthens the spirit of sportsmanship and popularize the beautiful game of hockey. He said India is proud to be hosting this tournament. Prime Minister Modi spoke to his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu over phone on Wednesday. Congratulating Mr. Netanyahu for his election as the Prime Minister of Israel for the 6th time, Mr. Modi wished him a very successful tenure. The two leaders expressed satisfaction at the rapid progress in the India-Israel strategic partnership in recent years and agreed on the potential to further strengthen strategic cooperation in a variety of areas. Prime Minister Modi invited Mr. Netanyahu to visit India at an early date. The United States air traffic is getting back to normal after domestic flights were grounded for several hours because of a computer glitch. The United States Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, lifted a ground stop that it issued early Wednesday morning following an outage to a system that provides pilots with notices they need before flying. The FAA says they are looking into the cause of the overnight outage. The latest data from the flight tracking site FlightAware shows there were more than 4,000 flight delays nationwide. US President Joe Biden was briefed about the outage and he said that the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, does not yet know what caused the issue. The White House in a statement said that there is no evidence of a cyber attack. At least 6 people were injured, with one in critical condition in an attack at Paris's International Gare du Nord station, restricting access to one of the French capital's major rail hubs. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said the man was stopped by 2 off-duty police officers who were returning home from a shift. He said the suspected attacker was shot 3 times and taken to hospital with serious injuries. Paris prosecutor's office said the motive for the knife attack is yet unknown. The World Health Organization, or WHO, urged countries to recommend all those traveling to wear masks in view of the rapid spread of the new Omicron subvariant XBB.1.5 across the world. WHO's Senior Emergency Officer for Europe, Catherine Smallwood, said passengers should be advised to wear masks in high-risk settings such as long-haul flights. Latest highly transmissible Omicron variant XBB.1.5 has accounted for 27.6% of the COVID-19 cases in the US so far till Sunday. The WHO official said the subvariant has been detected in Europe as well as in small but growing numbers. The World Bank has reaffirmed its belief in the Indian economy yet again. The global lender said in a report that India is expected to be the fastest growing economy among the 7 largest emerging markets and developing economies. While the World Bank projected a gloomy outlook for the global economy, it said that the Indian economy is expected to grow at a rate of 6.6% in the fiscal year 2023-24. It said that the global economy will come perilously close to a recession this year. It forecasts weaker growth in all the world's top economies, including the United States, Europe and China. In its report titled Global Economic Prospects, the World Bank noted that India's growth expanded by 9.7% on an annual basis in the first half of the fiscal year 2022-23, reflecting strong private consumption and fixed investment growth. The World Bank also slashed its forecast for global growth this year by nearly half to just 1.7% from its previous projection of 3%. Russia's backed Wagner Group has claimed control over the town of Soledar in eastern Ukraine. The Russian media reports that the Wagner head, Yevgeny Prigozhin, said Wagner units took control of the entire territory of Soledar. He said a cauldron has been formed in the center of the city in which urban fighting is going on. Earlier, Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said that the heavy fighting is still continuing. According to media reports, the fall of Soledar, a small salt mining town in the Donetsk region, could help Russian troops to encircle the nearby strategic city of Bakhmut. The French government has announced that it would increase the retirement age from 62 to 64 by 2030. French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne announced the decision at a press conference in Paris on Tuesday and defended the reform as a way to fiscally balance the country's pension system. The French government has argued that people live longer than they used to, meaning citizens will need to work longer in order to keep the pension financially afloat. It's also said that its retirement rules are much more generous than most comparable developed economies with aging populations. Ms. Borne said the full French pension age will be raised by 3 months every year, beginning 2023. Canada has imposed sanctions against former Sri Lanka Presidents Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa for gross and systematic violations of human rights during the armed conflict between 1983 and 2009 in the island nation. Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melanie Joly, said that the sanctions imposed will send a message that Canada will not accept continued impunity for those who have committed human rights violations in Sri Lanka. The sanctions imposed on the 4 state officials render an asset freeze they may hold in Canada and render them inadmissible to Canada. The Brazilian Supreme Court ordered the arrest of 2 top security officials in the capital, Brasilia, on Tuesday, days after rioters stormed key government buildings in capital. Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes approved warrants for the arrest of Brasilia Federal District's Public Security Chief, Anderson Torres, and Commander of Military Police in the district, Colonel Fabio Augusto. However, details of the charges levelled against the pair were not immediately clear. In the arrest warrant, Moraes cited their failure to ensure proper security forces were in place. He also cited their authorization of the entrance into the city of more than 100 buses with Bolsonaro supporters on board and their failure to close down a camp at which the former president's loyalists had been gathering for months. Meanwhile, police set about questioning over 1,000 protesters after they were detained as troops dismantled their camp opposite the army's headquarters. South Korea's unemployment rate rose to an 11-month high in December 2022, while the annual increase in employed people marked the smallest in 21 months. According to official data on Wednesday, the country's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate for December stood at 3.3%. It is higher than 2.9% in November and the highest since January. According to statistics, Korea in the 12 months through December, the number of employed people increased, extending a run of year-on-year gains to a 22nd straight month, however marking the smallest annual increase since March 2021. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, has appointed an Indian-American aerospace industry expert, A.C. Charania, as its new chief technologist. In his new role, Charania will serve as principal advisor to Administrator Bill Nelson on technology policy and programs at NASA. Charania joined NASA on 3rd January, replacing another Indian-American scientist, Bhavya Lal, who was serving as the acting chief technologist. NASA said in a statement that Charania will lead technology innovation for the space agency. It said that the chief technologist aligns NASA's agency-wide technology investments with mission needs across 6 mission directorates and oversees technology collaboration with other federal agencies, the private sector, and external stakeholders. Before joining NASA, Charania served as the Vice President of Product Strategy at Reliable Robotics, a firm that is working to bring certified autonomous vehicles to commercial aviation. Charania has a bachelor's and a master's degree in aerospace engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology and a bachelor's in economics from Emory University. European Union scientists have said that Europe experienced its second warmest year on record in 2022 as climate change unleashed record-breaking weather extremes. It slashed crop yields, dried up rivers, and led to thousands of deaths. The EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service, C3S, said 2022 was also the world's 5th warmest year. Europe experienced its warmest summer, with temperatures increasing by more than twice the global average over the past 3 decades, faster than any other continent. The last 8 years are now also the warmest yet recorded. Temperature records in many Western European countries were broken, with summer heat waves and intense droughts hitting many parts. The Film World Awards season has officially kicked off in Los Angeles. The Golden Globes, which is now in its 80th year, honors work in both film and television. The Banshees of Inisherin was the night's biggest winner in the film categories with 3 wins, closely followed by The Fabelmans and Everything, Everywhere, All at Once with 2. The Globes are unique in that they split their top film honors in 2. The Fabelmans earned statues as both Best Drama and for Spielberg his 3rd Globe as director, while Banshees of Inisherin won for Best Musical Comedy as well for writer Martin McDonagh and star Colin Farrell. Quinta Brunson and Tyler James Williams were also recognized for the Best Comedy winner, the ABC sitcom Abbott Elementary, the rare series on a broadcast network to make inroads in the awards arena. Among drama, Zendaya earned another accolade for HBO's gritty teen drama Euphoria. Netflix also scored a win over Disney in the animated movie category with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, a stop-motion version of the story. In the television category, the Globe's voters spread the wealth, with HBO taking home 4, including Best Series and Limited Series honors for House of the Dragon and The White Lotus. ABC claimed 3 thanks to Abbott and FX, a pair with 1 each for Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu, and Paramount Network. Indian film RRR's super hit song Natu Natu has won the prestigious Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. The history-creating track from director S.S. Rajamouli's blockbuster movie is composed by M.M. Keeravani. The singers are Kala Bhairav and Rahul Sipliganj. Natu Natu, which became an anthem of sorts for the Rajamouli fans, is a dance number featuring Junior NTR and Ram Charan. It created ripples for its elaborate choreography and musical storytelling. Natu Natu left behind Taylor Swift's Carolina, From Where the Crawdads Sing, Ciao Papa, from Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Lady Gaga's Hold My Hand from Top Gun, Maverick, and Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, performed by Rihanna. The historical epic RRR has also been nominated in the Best Non-English Language Film category at the 80th Golden Globes. The awards are considered as a precursor to the Oscars. And in business news, the Sensex and the Nifty today fell marginally to close almost flat. Index of top 30 companies at the Bombay Stock Exchange ended near 60,100 points. The index of top 50 companies at the National Stock Exchange closed near 17,900 level. A report.
The Sensex slipped 10 points to settle at 60,106. The Nifty also slipped 21 points to finish at 17,896. Among global stock markets, Asian shares gained except China's Shanghai Composite Index, which slipped 0.2%. Japan's Nikkei 225 climbed 1% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng gained 0.5%. South Korea's Kospi rose 0.4% and Singapore's Straits Times added 0.3%. European shares were up in intraday trade. Oil prices rose around 0.5% amid divergent cues of an unexpected build in U.S. crude and fuel inventories, global economic uncertainty, and China reopening its economy. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $80.55 per barrel. Back home at the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures for February were trading at 55,800 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for March was trading at 68,670 rupees per kilogram when reports last came in. And at the forex market, the rupee strengthened 21 paise to close at 81 rupees and 58 paise against the US dollar. V. Ravi Kumar for World News All India Radio.
And now let's take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian writes, a great day for the country. Uganda declares an end to Ebola outbreak. The Washington Post reports, Indonesia admits historical rights violations but shirks accountability. The New York Times writes, a Russian mercenary group says it has taken contested Ukrainian town. The Business Recorder writes, China defends its retaliation against South Korea, Japan COVID curbs. Wall Street Journal writes, Brazil's military stopped mob at capital, ignoring calls to stage a coup. A quick look at the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Madhya Pradesh Global Investors Summit in Indore, says institutions and credible voices that track the global economy have unprecedented confidence in India. Computer glitch leaves planes grounded across United States. World Health Organization recommends all those traveling to wear masks in view of rapid spread of new Omicron subvariant across the world. IMF says India expected to be the fastest growing economy among largest emerging markets and developing economies. Indian film RRR's song wins prestigious Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. And Men's Hockey World Cup commences in Cuttack, first match to be played on Friday. And now before we end, let's listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Sudan. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.